How to Meditate 2021 guide. If you've been stuck with meditation, if your mind just keeps going into its loops and you've heard that traditional advice, hey, focus back to your breath, when your mind wanders, bring it back to this moment, or picture the thoughts, or just deleting the thoughts in your mind like you would a window on your computer screen. If you've tried all of that and you're still struggling with meditation, then this is the episode for you. We're going to be going into why it's so hard to be present and meditate, as well as what you can do instead to begin with meditation. And also stick around to the end, because I'll be giving away a free meditation audio, which is going to tie into what we talk about. So briefly, when I started with meditation, it was quite funny. I used to be in my room, meditate, and I used to just tell my mom, like, hey mom, don't disturb me for 5 minutes. And you can imagine how as a young teenager telling, hey, don't come into my room for 5 minutes, as a young male teenager, you can imagine what might be going through someone's mind just hearing that. But that was when I started meditation, was when it wasn't that popular, or really that it just begun to get popular. I remember that was a year where on Google, like, the most searched term was how to meditate. However, explaining that to my family and stuff at the time was a bit like they don't understand it, or like, Manvir, you're going crazy. So then I started my meditation journey. It was just binaural beats for like 5 minutes daily, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes in binaural beats, and then slowly worked my way up to 10 minutes. And if I was feeling good, I'll go 15-20 minutes, to where now I usually go at least 2 to 3 hours in a day meditating. Now, that's not practical for everyone. I'm a meditation teacher, I'm a meditation guide, I'm a meditation coach, so it's my number one passion. But what happened was, at some point, I went from my 5 to 10 minute meditation, 30 minutes if I was really being a high achiever, to then working with my first teacher, a meditation master, Shalom Melchizedek, and he threw me straight into the deep end. It was 2 to 3 hours of meditation per day. So then there was me doing 2 to 3 hours of meditation, usually in like 2 sessions. Like, I'll probably meditate 1.5 hour one time, and then a 1.5 hour another time. And I really got to understand that, like, what are the difficulties that come with meditation, and why is it that it's so hard to be present? Because once you're actually in the meditation, sometimes it doesn't even happen for like most of the meditations. You might have the odd meditation where you're really present and it feels amazing. So I'm like, how can I make this happen more often, and how can I reduce the time that it takes for me to get focused in meditation? Because the thing was, some of these sessions I'd meditate, and only after an hour went by did my mind actually quiet down. Only after an hour. And I had 6 months of training with my teacher, and I still meditate 2 to 3 hours a day. But that whole thing was like, hey, why doesn't the mind quiet down? What's going on? So then, after some more training, because I got my meditation certification there, then I also became a New Humanity School meditation teacher. It kind of clicked, because in that, the first meditation we teach, regardless of what level you're at, is the body scan meditation. And at that point, I was quite advanced with my meditation practice. And so, silent mind in my meditation wasn't taking long. I would really enjoy my meditations. But I realized that, hey, the reason the usual tactics don't work, which is like, come back to your breath, or, a lot of the time, just like this, it's like people are saying, basically go away from your thoughts, or just observe them go past. The problem there is, like, you're using the mind to fight with the mind a lot of the time. That's what's happening with the meditation. That's what's making it so hard. And so with the body scan, what you're doing is bringing your awareness back into your body, which is already present in this moment. And a lot of the time, we're all operating from the neck up, and we're not used to being in our bodies. And this is where the next thing clicked to me. It was like, hey, okay, body scan's nice, like I'm being in my body, but that's only step one. Why isn't it that my awareness is staying here? Like, why is it during the day it just goes back up? And that's when I had the second click of my mind, which is like, oh, the real reason why meditation was difficult is because it's uncomfortable being present in the moment. Now, what do I mean by that? Let me ask you a question. If you were to rate how you feel on average, 0 being complete crap and 10 being great, what is your average score like truly? Not what you're focusing on, because a lot of us focus on, being positive. So obviously we may say 6, we may say 8, hopefully, if you're trying to focus positive. But if you wasn't focusing positively, like if you were just being you, maybe you could even say how you are when you first wake up in the morning. How would you rate that from 0 to 10? And if it's not a high number, like 8, 9, 10, which by the way is fine, is 99% of people. I still have mornings where I wake up, I'm like, well, I meditate as soon as I wake up just because. But anyways, if it's a number that, it may not be that high of a number, that's the reason you can't be present. That's the reason you're finding it difficult to be in meditation, because that's your state most of the time. If you think of, in the room or even in this recording, you could probably hear my laptop fan, and apologies, all my recordings are going to have this laptop fan until I change my laptop, and it's a good laptop, so, I don't know how soon that's going to be. But we all have this background fan running, usually like a low hum of anxiety or something that's running in the background. So the reason why it's difficult to meditate is because it means being aware of that which has been there for who knows how long. And what I'd find is that, in my meditating of 1 to 2 to 3 hours a day, I would be going very deep into meditation, experiencing bliss, experiencing samadhi, however you want to pronounce it, where it's like just bliss. It's like I'm not even like aware of my surroundings. But that wasn't fixing the issue of, I'm still feeling this 5, 6 out of 10 on average. And it's like I was always floating above what I was feeling, and that really used to annoy me, because I'm like, okay, why do I feel so good in the meditation, but within like half an hour max, I'm back to this normal derp state? And first of all, the issue is that you're judging that state. But the second of all, this is where it clicked that, what would be more productive to be better at meditation isn't actually focusing and, bringing my attention back to my breath or whatever, which, at some point you will have to do it because you may have not developed that focus muscle. However, the reason why I was going on these loops mentally or emotionally in my meditation to where it's like I can't break out of it was because of what's going on, what's stored within the body. And this is where I got even deeper into emotional healing and subconscious deprogramming. And so, this episode is just a beginner meditation episode, but really what would be happening is that a lot of the things you experience, when you experience something as a kid, something as little as everyone laughing at you in nursery can be too overwhelming in that experience, or you losing your mom for like 10 seconds, all the way to, people actually getting really abusive, like physically abusive childhood experiences. All of that, when it's too much to handle as a kid, it's like you freeze in time. That part of you locks in time and stays within your body. stays in your subconscious mind. And this is what's often looping and keeping you not from being present to the moment. And so when I started to really focus on that, it wasn't an issue of not being able to be present. The issue was actually when I was present, I actually saw what was going on inside when I'm walking around thinking positively or trying to be positive. There's all this ish that's stored in my body, and because your body's present, is always there. And so when you finally quiet down your mind after the initial peace and quiet that comes, all of this stuff that's stored in your body starts to surface. And this is where I really got into the shadow work aspects of things. As a sidebar, I invite you, if you feel that there's a lot of emotional pains and stuff going on, if things surface when you're meditating, or just in general things just surface and seem to not go away, past experiences, heartbreak, experiences from childhood, or experiences you may not even realize that stem from childhood that keep looping, I invite you to have a one-to-one intuitive transformation session with me, because this is the work I do day in, day out, and everyone's been seeing amazing results. So you can be one of those people. So yeah, I went into deprogramming my subconscious mind and emotional healing, and I found out, oh, hey, this is probably what should be the focus of a beginner coming into meditation. So what to do? Start off with the body scan practice, because first of all, you need to be used to what it's like being in your body. And then once you're used to the body scan practice, which is very simple and it's so nice, like even as an advanced meditator, when I take time to do just the body scan, I realize how just relaxing and soothing it is, and it really helps with anxiety if that's something you experience. So once you get used to body scan practice, then move on to the emotional healing aspect of things. And for that, this is what I got a free meditation for, dealing with, it's like a nice little beginner meditation for dealing with emotional heaviness. And so if you're interested in that, make sure you check for a link below or send me a message and I'll get that to you. So just to summarize, what we went through is beginner meditation where the advice goes wrong, which is, hey, come back to your breath, or hey, ignore your thoughts, or hey, just allow them to be there. That's not the actual reason why we can't be present, or that's not the actual reason why those thoughts are there in the first place. It's actually because there's things that are stored within our body, our subconscious, that need to be deprogrammed, that need to be healed, which keep getting triggered, and they come to the surface when we actually take a moment to slow down and be aware of them. And so the best way to begin your meditation journey is with a body scan practice, and then moving on to emotional healing, which I have a free meditation for, so make sure you check that out. Alright, so that's it for this episode. Make sure you, whatever platform you're on, you subscribe or do that version of it on that platform, to keep in tune, because if you're listening to this, you've come into a pot of gold, especially with the stuff I'm going to be coming out with. So that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed and have a beautiful rest of your day.